So welcome. It's great to have you on another happy hour. With that said, I know Donna and I are excited to talk about two really neat products today.
Hi,
And
everyone.
we couldn't do this without a drink. So Donna,
Yes,
get us
I
started.
do. I do have my margarita. Just want to say it's 5 o'clock, definitely. So happy hour, happy everybody. I'm going to take a sip. Welcome. Thanks. Nice to see everyone.
Well, again, thank you for joining us. Many of you I see on the call I actually recognize, but I see that there are some people that are new on the call. So I do want to give you a quick idea. My name is Brett. If I haven't had a chance to meet you, I look forward to meeting you very, very shortly. I am lucky enough to be one of the two owners of Friendship Tours. So Friendship Tours was started in 1977. And in 1977, my mother actually started Friendship Tours. And when she started that, her love for travel had come way back, actually, in 1958. Her Girl Scout troop got this crazy idea. They were all going to go to Europe. They raised enough money. And after a year of doing that, they took 25 girls on the up to Canada, where we're going today on our trip, right? But to the St. Lawrence River, sailed to Europe, 2.5 weeks on a boat. Then they basically did over 13 countries in about a month and a half. And during that time, she fell in love with travel like a lot of you did. She loved languages and topography, but more than anything is she built friendships that lasted her entire lifetime. And friendships through travel, that has always been the goal with Friendship Tours, and we kind of do that today. So hopefully you're seeing some new friends on the call today, and we look forward to you all meeting each other on a trip really, really shortly. So in Bloomfield, which is where Friendship Tours is located, there are actually 9 of us in the office. In 1977, when Friendship Tours was started, I was actually in kindergarten. And at that time, my sister is actually the other owner of Friendship Tours, but our staff had actually started way back. We have people who've been with us for 40 years. Donna's celebrating 35. I know that's unbelievable. 25. Our newest person is 12 years. So out of our 9, there's a lot of great experience there to help you plan anything from a day trip, short motor coach overnight, and of course, all of the wonderful cruises. The ship shop was started in 1986 or thereabouts, and Donna had just started actually with the company. She walked in the door right away. They said, "You are going to learn to be a cruiser." And so at 21, Donna?
No, I was 19, but I think I did my first cruise at 20. And yeah, it's crazy.
And today she's a master cruise counselor and one of the best in the industry. So our cruise department is made up of not only Donna, Barbara, Heidi, all of us. If you call in, we can help you with the different things, but we are thrilled to always have Donna as our backup master cruise counselor, and she will help you with any of your needs. The 2 trips that we're going to talk about today are going to be, I'm going to put these actually up for you so you can see them, and we'll get rolling right into our program today. And let's share this for you. All right, Donna, can you see?
Yes.
What you're supposed to? That's always great.
Yep, that looks good.
And now I just need to figure out what screen it has decided to go on. Zoom. Can you still see that screen?
You can still see it. It looks like I'm seeing your computer screen a little bit, like the top where it says PowerPoint.
Yeah, it's interesting. It started in a very different way. Let's see here.
It looks a little different.
Let's go like
technology.
Oh, yes.
It's always fun.
All right.
There we go.
Perfect. Let's move over here.
That's perfect on my end.
Yep. I just want to put this in the right place so you don't look
Yeah.
all the way off. So let's talk a little bit about American Queen voyages. A lot of you may have been with us on some of the river cruises. If you're not familiar with American Queen, it was a steamboat company. They have recently changed their name, and that is because they actually have quite a few different product lines. Not only do they have the wonderful paddle wheel river boats that they've always had, but they also have a wonderful Great Lakes program, and they also have an expedition program. So we wanted to give you a quick introduction to this, and let's do that with a video.
To really see North America, its land and people, you have to leave the roads. Introducing American Queen Voyages. Water has always been our way forward. Over the last decade, our red paddle wheel has been a symbol of progress, churning new possibilities and adventures ahead. We invite you to a deeper discovery of our vast continent in a way only the waters can provide. From the great American rivers to lake, ocean, and expedition voyages, where their engines run as silent as the Alaskan predators, where flinty New England oystermen warm up over salty fishtails, the chef shares her tantalizing secrets, and crawdaddy boils fill every corner of the table, where you meet real-world heroes and warriors. And you don't just see thoroughbreds racing. You go behind the scenes to the legendary stables. Intimate, authentic, and so personal an encounter it can only be yours. We use the waters to set a new course. We let the waters, ever rising, flowing, living, design the experience. Perpetually spinning, the big wheel keeps turning. Today, we reintroduce our travel experiences as American Queen Voyages. With all its style and grandeur, where the nights serenade you and the days feed your curiosity, where home is a feeling that always nourishes you. Today, we invite you to explore a North America unknown, where tradition lives and breathes and discovery runs deep, where the dance of life inspires you and the wildlife is sure to mesmerize. You'll discover territories incognita, old world comforts of the North and South, and places you imagined you knew. You may even discover new places within. Now is our time. Now is our moment to cast off the bow lines and venture forward. American Queen Voyages. River, lakes and ocean, expedition, discovery runs deep.
This is the moment.
So it's been a really exciting time for American Queen voyages. Basically, it's North America. So you have the Great Lakes with the expedition and their Victory class, Alaska. Then you have, of course, all the wonderful rivers that they've always done. The Mississippi, basically going from Minnesota all the way down to New Orleans. And today we are going to highlight a specific part from St. Louis up to Minnesota. They also, of course, have out west the Cumberland and Snake River, which is the Lewis and Clark. And then there are all the wonderful tributaries. I know, Donna, you have a couple favorites. Which is your particular one that you like?
So actually for me, my very first cruise was on the American Queen, and we did this itinerary, St. Louis to St. Paul. So honestly, this was great because what I found so fascinating was I never knew that there was 27 locks between St. Louis and St. Paul. And I was like, what do you mean there's locks on the Mississippi River? So that was completely fascinating to me. And you know, the river there is just wider and more lake-like and a lot of, you know, more wildlife. So completely different from the lower Mississippi.
Right. The
You know,
mighty
which is
Mississippi, right? The muddy
right,
Mississippi.
not
And
the muddy Mississippi, but
yeah.
and that's why people do multiple cruises. So they might do the upper Mississippi, then say, all right, well, now I'll do the lower, then I'll go out west. So the beauty of it is you can do multiple cruises and see so many different things. It's awesome. So.
And so on all of the cruises that you would do with American Queen, they have some basics that are consistent. So those would be whenever you start off, they're now doing what they call an all-inclusive voyage. So on this particular one, we're going to go over all the things that are included, and that'll be in the next part. But first off, you fly, and if you've ever flown and then cruised on the same day, that can be very nerve-wracking. So they don't do that. What they do is they have everybody go in, everybody has a pre-night cruise stay at a really nice hotel. It's different in each of the areas, but they're lovely. You come in, you get at your time. There's hosts that are there. So if on this particular trip, we have actually Bob Reed, who is on the call. I'm sorry, he's going to be doing the next one. He may get this one, you never know. But one of our tour guides will be actually flying with the group, going on the cruise from start to finish. So in addition to all the great staff at American Queen cruise voyages, you'll have somebody from Friendship along with you as well on both of the itineraries today. So food is very, very big. Lots of different places to eat on these ships. We'll talk about size. The beautiful thing about these is the size of these vessels. On the one that we're going to be on, you're going to be about 250 people. It's one of the more intimate, so we'll go through the sizes. On the menus, they have classic menus, so things that you can get every single night. Like steak, lobster, all of those are included each of the different nights. And then they also do regional specialties. So if you were near New Orleans, you might have some Southern cooking. If you're up in the Columbia and Snake River, you would have Pacific Northwest style foods. When you're on this particular one, you're going to get a really nice variety because you are on the Mississippi and all the different areas. So that's one of my favorite parts. Unlimited beverage package. So that's brand new in the last couple of years. So this includes specialty coffee drinks and then a list of really nice spirits. Is there anything that you want to talk about on that, Donna?
No, I think that's really nice. You know, the fact that they have now included drinks and, you know, Wi-Fi just really does make it feel like more of an all-inclusive vacation. Absolutely.
So sodas, specialty coffees, teas, any filtered water. They actually have special filter water stations throughout the entire ship. It's really neat. They've done a big initiative to get rid of plastic. So beers, spirits are all in this list, and you can get an exact list. Donna has that as well. Live entertainment. So even though these are smaller ships, they consistently get ranked as some of the best entertainment on the waterways. So that's a really nice part. Also education. So one of the neat things is as you're traveling the rivers, you're going to actually have what's called a river laureate. River laureate is like a historian, a science teacher, general knowledge, all wrapped into one person. In addition to that, they will have special entertainers come on. Of course, on this trip, you're going to be stopping in Hannibal, Missouri, which of course everyone knows is associated with Mark Twain. And so I'm sure he will make an appearance on your trip. The other nice thing is shore excursions. So unlike many trips, they actually have their own motor coaches that follow along. And when you get to each port, they're waiting for you. And they actually do what's called a hop on, hop off experience. And that is fully included at each of the ports. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. Donna skipped ahead. She knew it was coming. Wi-Fi. One of the really nice things is all included Wi-Fi. They actually will do when they're not on the river moving, but when they're actually docked, they will go ahead and do pilot house tours, something that's really unique. And even a lot of times you can see the engines running. So you really learn all about what it's like to navigate the Mississippi. As you know, the Mississippi can go low or high, and you got to know where you're going and how it works. This vehicle not only has the wheel on the back, but has these very special ozopads that make the boat go any different direction, and they are pretty amazing. Gratuities. So on this particular trip, your gratuities are the only thing in the list that are not included. You can prepay them, but they're basically about $20 a day. So that is some things for you to know. Then the other part would be the trip. So July 17 to 25. Again, this is fully escorted. You'll see transportation to the airport. If you live near the airport, you can certainly meet right at the airport. You fly from Bradley on this. All the transfers and everything, when you arrive, we then get transferred to the hotel, which is included on that pre-night stay in St. Louis. The next day, you have breakfast and start off on a tour right away. 7-night cruise aboard the newest of their ships, which is the American Countess. We'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. Onboard entertainment, daily lectures. We talked about the River Lorien already, award-winning cuisine, and of course, their service is legendary. This is the Countess. So the Countess is the newest of their vessels. She is actually a ship that had already been created in 1996. That's why you see /2020. They found this ship, they cut it in half, enlarged it to be at the size that they wanted it to be, to have all the different restaurants and things fit the way that they did. It was originally a casino ship. They recycled it, rebuilt it, and came up with an amazing ship for us to go and travel. It's the paddle wheel experience with one of the newest ships on the waterways.
She is whatever she wants to be, and she is a little of everything, mixed up so tough in a beautiful way. She's got the world at her fingertips, and she makes beauty look effortless. And I want everything she is, she is, she is. 'Cause I want everything she is, she is, she is. Oh, yeah.
So this particular vessel has 123 staterooms, you can see on here, 245 with 98 crew members. So it is an intimate experience when you're on board. And starting kind of from the top out, this is the sun deck. She really has 3 main decks, the fourth being the sun deck at the very top. Then you have the wonderful main staircase, the big open area, lots and lots of art on board. This is kind of the central area near the restaurant, and of course that piano before you go into your dining experience. There's always somebody playing each night. Of course, it has a wonderful theater on board as well. Lots of entertainment and activities will take place there. Then it has just wonderful places as you're cruising down the river to take it easy, relax, and enjoy yourself. And if you were on the American Queen, you would know 2 of the rooms. One was the men's card room and the ladies' room. And what they've done is they've kind of kept that idea, but they've created what they call the library and the card rooms. And they are lovely. So these are what they look like. Lots of activities. If you want to just curl up and read a book, watch the water go by, or just sit and meet some friends for some cards, these are great ways to do it. On the rivers, there is definitely river time. It's a slow pace. It's really special. And then you can go as quick or as slow as you like once you're at all of the great destinations. If you want to go and get some bikes, they actually have electric bikes that you can take. You can do the shore excursions, so lots of activities. This is one of my favorites. They have food, of course, always available, right? So cookies, popcorn, coffee. The neatest coffee machines. You can get anything from a frozen coffee to a latte. So really neat in there. They have 2 different dining experiences. This is the River Grill here. And on the next one is going to be the wonderful dining room that's there. In addition to that, you've got the chart room. This is actually full nautical charts. This is where the River Lorien is usually hanging out, and he can tell you all about what you're seeing along the water, as well as he does his talks. If you want to get a quick workout in, they do even have a gym on there. Dining, recreation, and relaxation. Donna, those are 3 things I know you like a lot.
Absolutely. I think to me, cruising on the river is the best part. I mean, I almost don't care where the ship stops. I loved watching the river traffic, and I'm fascinated entirely by how much goes up and down the river in front of you. And to me, just watching that and sitting and enjoying a book or cocktail and just watching the sunset before dinner is just what cruising on the river is all about. So all those things, perfect.
And Donna, you were recently on this ship. Donna was actually on a trip from Chattanooga where they were able to do a full tour of the Countess and a little bit with the food. We talked about that. Do you want to just share your experience while you were on board?
Sure, absolutely. So when I was on the American Queen, we ended up in port and the Countess was docked right next to us. And so I was very excited because I had not gotten a chance to see her yet since during COVID. I think we base everything before COVID and after COVID these days, but a lot was going on during, during that time, and the Countess was being built. So it was exciting to see her on the river and get on board and experience it. But yes, like you said, the menus are awesome. The fact that they've added, lobster to the menu for every day was just a treat. Everybody was loving it.
Prime rib, no
Prime rib
surcharges.
every night. And then, like you said, we had people at our table that made it like a pact that they were going to try something different, like, frog's legs. And, every night they were trying some different local cuisine. And it's fun. You just do as much or as little as you want.
And on this particular ship, you do have the main dining room. They'll do
Yes.
Breakfast in there. They have a really nice combination of both things you can order off the menu and a buffet that's available. They also have on this particular vessel the River Grill,
Yes.
which does lunches and other
dinner.
times. And also at dinner, if you didn't want to do the full formal dinner, they are open and they have steak and things like that in there too. Not quite as long experience. Really, dining is an experience, just like if you were to go to Europe. Dinners take a little bit longer. That would be true here as well. It's really experiencing everything that it has to offer. And then, of course, entertainment. They are legendary for their entertainment, and you will see that as well. So enrichment, that's one of the things that I enjoy, is learning about where we are, not only the history, but what's all around us, even so far as going up at night and learning how to pilot the rivers. So that's pretty interesting. The hop on, hop off, we talked a little bit about. This particular trip is going to be 9 days. So day number 1, we're going to fly, we're going to make our way to St. Louis, where we'll do our hotel stay. Then our next day is going to start with that breakfast and a tour, and we'll actually be making our way about 18 miles to Alton. Alton is where the ship is, where the boat, I have to be careful. This is the one time you can call these are boats, not ships. They have a flat bottom. Get very angry at you, right?
Right.
You say ship, so we'll say boat. Then on day 3, Hannibal, Missouri, scenic cruising. One of my favorite of the days is just really enjoying everything as it goes by. Bettendorf, Iowa, that is the Quad Cities. A lot of you may have heard of that before. Dubuque, Iowa, LaCrosse, Wisconsin. Then we get into Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is actually Red Wing is where we'll go. And then we'll finish flying out at Minnesota and St. Paul.
Yeah, so your ship actually docks and ends in Red Wing, and then your transfers, right? And Red Wing is famous for the bald eagles, and that whole area is just beautiful. So you will be, on the last day, there is time for a premium tour so that you can do a tour at the end, which we can talk about later.
So we talked about this slide. You fly in, you have this beautiful hotel, you're going to get all checked in. There are people on premises to do everything. You're going to have a tour the next day after your breakfast. So they're going to share all that information, your keys, everything that you're going to need to basically do your transfer. And we will have one of our staff that's going to be there helping you through this as well. I love St. Louis, the Gateway. It's one of the best cities. You're going to be in a nice area and you have some time to explore that depending on what time your flights are. Then that next day, this particular tour I did on my way finishing my last cruise in St. Louis. It is a ton of fun. It's a Lewis and Clark kind of experience. You're going to be in St. Louis. You'll do a little bit touring in the city before going out. If you want to go up onto this beautiful lookout area, you can. And then there's a museum that has all kinds of information on Lewis and Clark and on the area. Then from there, they're going to transfer you directly to the vessel where you're going to now be in Alton, and we will be sailing that evening. From there, we head down to Hannibal, Missouri. And what we've done here is give you an idea of some of the shore excursions. Donna, do you want to talk about the PDF that they get when they go ahead and sign up, or
Yes.
before?
So, and I know there's some folks on the call now that are already booked on this tour, and what I've sent off to them and what I will do for anybody that makes the reservation is send off a booklet of the shore excursions. And basically it's nice summary. It gives you all of the hop on, hop off locations with a description of each place. And then it also gives you an option to do premium tours. So, you know, most people find that these hop on, hop off are great because you can pick one of, like, say in Hannibal, you have to stop and you have to go see Mark Twain's Boyhood Home. That's a must. And you could say, all right, well, then I'm going to skip, you know, Becky Thatcher House and I'm going to go on. So you can do as much or as little as you want. I know some people who stayed on the tour on the bus and rode it all the way around, and then decided on the next time around which ones they wanted to get off at. So what's really nice is that they make it so simple. And but yes, I will send off and then I'll let you know how much all of the premium tours are. And then we also assist you in making those reservations. So,
and I do have some of those as we go into different stops. So you'll see that.
Absolutely.
On this, the nice thing is this is 100 miles north of St. Louis. You literally feel like you're walking back into Sam Clemens' books, right? Mark Twain's books. You can visit, obviously, Huck Finn's house is a real person that he modeled it after, and all these different stops. Then from there, you have a day of scenic cruising. And to me, really going through and experiencing the locks that Donna was talking about earlier. If you have never gone through a lock, that's where the river changes different levels. That experience is something to see. And it's really interesting to see the other traffic that's on. And as you start from St. Louis, it's going to change as you get towards Minneapolis. And that's really neat. As you go up into these different locks, a lot of the water becomes clearer. The areas around you change. And so up at the middle of this picture is our boat, and this is some of what the topography looked like in this area. If you look to the left, you can see a very different feel, a little bit wider. So you're going to experience all of this. And then also there's activities that are going on during that. Our next day is the Quad Cities that we were talking about. Over on the far left would be the included hop on, hop off. These are some of the areas. This area is some of the richest growing area in the entire country. And with that, the botanic world, I'm actually pretty involved with the Connecticut Horticultural Society, and many of the speakers that we get are actually from this area because of the soil and the growing. So the Botanic Garden, Quad City Botanic Garden, is actually a world-renowned botanic garden. But in the Quad Cities, I think two of the neatest shore excursions that would be a little bit extra, you'll see the Ultimate Experience Agricultural. That is actually a visit to John Deere. John Deere is right in the Quad Cities. And if you've ever wanted to know what it would be like to drive a combine or some of these big things, they actually have simulators. It's really fun. You learn about the area. You will see other things as well, but it's like no other experience. As a shore excursion, $149 per person. For those that are baseball fans, if you remember the movie Field of Dreams, that is in, of course, Iowa, right? Is this heaven? No, it's Iowa, right?
Yes.
Well, this is the actual Field of Dreams, and you can go and visit that, and that is about $129. So it gives you an idea. These are all day long shore excursions for you, and those were two that I kind of picked out for you to take a look at. Our next stop after that is going to be Dubuque. Dubuque, the hop on, hop off, the historic mill works. This was a interesting town, has a lot of German background, agriculture, and of course, textile and machinery. So that's where you're going to learn about the Mill District, which is today culinary, art, and entertainment area. The Dubuque Museum of Art is one of the best museums of art in that part of the country. Dubuque is very interesting. It has been rated one of the highest IQ working forces in all of the United States. There's actually this thing called Smart 21 community. Since 2015, they have been one of the most productive workforces and most advanced when it comes to computer skills. And so that is something that I found shocking, didn't know at all that was there. And so you can learn about that. They also have the traditions of the Methodist Church and all of these different areas. So Donna will send out the entire list of all the shore excursions. From there, we head off to LaCrosse, Wisconsin. LaCrosse, again, you have the hop on, hop off options. And I think Donna was talking about Red Wing. Red Wing, if you've ever heard of the boots, that also would be made. The town is not far from there. And one of the things they are known for is their bald eagles.
Yes.
So on eagle's wings, I know this is one of your favorite, Donna. So why don't you talk
I
about that?
do. I really, unfortunately I didn't get to do this tour, but everybody that we've sent on this cruise that has done that are interested in bald eagles have said that this tour is absolutely fantastic. So, I mean, you just don't realize how much there is to see in this part of the country till you get there, right? So the reviews from this tour have been really great. Excellent.
And then over here on the right would be the different stops for the hop on, hop off for you. On our last day, we're going to be arriving in Red Wing, and we will be motor coaching to St. Paul and Minneapolis. And Donna, do you want to talk about that last day, some of the options?
Sure, absolutely. So the flights home on this particular tour will be in the later afternoon, or I should say mid to later afternoon. So there is time to do a premium tour of the Twin Cities. And so if the Twin Cities of St. Paul and Minneapolis. And so the boat does not, since the boat docks in Red Wing, the boat doesn't come all the way up like it used to many years ago. And so this gives you the opportunity to see those two cities before you fly out. I mean, much better than sitting at the airport, right, all day. So we do recommend the premium tour, and we can help make reservations for that. Or you do have the option of just being transferred to the airport where you can wait for your flight to go home. And
so the Twin Cities, Minneapolis is a little bit more of the modern city. St. Paul still has all the great churches and everything that's there. This is often referred to as the Little Apple, meaning that it's kind of like a New York City in its quality of museums, art, history, and those are parts of the tours. There are two, I believe, that you can actually choose from. So you can see what those are. To sign up for that, first off, you want to have the flyer. You can find that right at our website, friendshiptours.net. If you go over to the ship shop section, go down and you'll see they're all listed by date. And this, of course, is July 17th to 25. Donna, do you want to talk about the backside of the flyer?
Yeah, absolutely. So so you can see that we have different categories available for the cruise. We offer inside cabins, outside cabins with an open veranda, which means they're on a deck where you have chairs outside your door, but there is people that walk by. I love that deck though, because I love where, you make a little bit of some friends and it's a nice social atmosphere there. And then we also offer cabins with a private veranda. So as of right now, there is availability in each of those cabins. When you do decide to go, we ask you to, give us a call, give me a call in the office and have, your driver's license handy because, as you're not leaving the country, you don't need a passport for this tour. So we'll just get your information off your government ID and we'll get a reservation. Final payment has passed. So we are taking full payment at this point for this cruise. And we're taking reservations until we fill our block or until the boat fills. So we never know when that will be. So we always say, if you want to go, don't wait too long. And I do know that, like I had said, there's some folks on the call now that are booked on the tour and some of them are line dancers. So one of them is an instructor and he's personally told me that if anybody wants to learn how to line dance, he'll be happy to teach it. So I think this group is going to have a lot of fun.
And they do have wonderful entertainment shows, but they also will clear out in front of the stage in the theater and they actually do dancing. So really, really fun. Some of the things that you're going to notice is how modern this ship is. It has all of the great aspects of the American Queen with also having the new amenities. So the first one I wanted to show you, this is actually an inside cabin. Sometimes people ask about inside, meaning it's interior, no window in here. I know, Donna, there are some of these if they by request at this point, you were
Yes,
saying?
by request, there's a pretty decent single rate. So if there are people out there that do not have a roommate at this time, but are interested in going, I can, I'm happy to, go over that on the phone, give me a call and I can go over the single pricing. It's a pretty desirable rate. As singles go, we all know cruises, sometimes singles are very high. So in this case, we do have a pretty nice rate for the inside single. And yes, Brett, you're right. What's nice about the newer boats is, of course, is they've always thought about space and how they, to maximize efficiency, right? So the amount of, it looks small, but there's a place for everything, which is nice.
Doorway in that picture, that's actually the closet, and it's all laid out. I didn't put a picture of that in. There is a really nice one on their website, but they've thought about how that works. And then USB connections, they actually have those and regular outlets. I love this one because the bathrooms, they've really spent time thinking about where the amenities, how they are, the showers to make it most efficient for everybody. So you don't feel like you're, in one of those old showers where you're, basically touching the sides. Quite large, and it's the same regardless if you have an inside cabin. Now these beds can be either put together as one bed or separated as two. You'll see in these pictures, this would be the outside cabin, and this is the open veranda. So you'll see the walkway on the outside and then this little area where you go in. And there is actually, Don, I believe, doorway from the inside as well.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so this door closes and then you have your entrance from the other side, or you can of course exit towards the walkway around. So that would be the category B, outside cabin with a veranda, open veranda. And then this would be the look of a category A. This is an outside cabin. Again, you've got that big sliding glass door, has like your window, and you have your private veranda. So here you'll see no walkway around. You're separated from people on each side, and it's kind of your private area, and you're right there at the water line. And this would be what the bathrooms would look like for each of those cabins. So you can see same, no matter which of those you get, same wonderful amenities, all the same product lines, the hair blowers, everything that you would basically need. So that is trip number one. And it gives you all the information. When you're ready to make your reservation, you can simply contact Donna either via email or just give us a call, either on our 860-243-1630 or 800-243-1630. And I'll put that up at the end as well. So that's trip number one. Number two is going to be on one of our ocean liners. So this particular trip is going to start in Boston, and it's going to finish in Boston. So this is a round trip. I'm going to give you a little bit more information. I know that's hard to see on the flyer, but this is on the Celebrity Summit. So we've chosen Celebrity. Do you want to talk a little bit about Celebrity and why we have this particular ship for this itinerary?
Absolutely. So we have loved the summit, and where, she's been in, New Jersey sailing to Canada, to Bermuda for a few years now. And she's a perfect medium-sized ship. As you can see, she only holds about 2,200 at a maximum capacity. So she's considered a medium-sized ship. And, that to me is the perfect size for doing an itinerary like this, where the itinerary is so important. You don't need, a 6,000 passenger ship doing this itinerary. So it's lovely size. And she was recently renovated, which will show you some beautiful pictures, revitalized top to bottom, every cabin down to the studs, completely rebuilt, and just absolutely gorgeous. So I had the pleasure of touring her back in October in Boston, and I loved it because it's one of my family's favorite ships, and to see what they've done to her was just so exciting. So very, very nice. It was nice then, and it just is even better now.
Absolutely. I was on it right after it was revolutionized, is what they call it.
Yes.
If you want to see a video all about that on our website, on this page, you can actually watch. There's 9-minute video that will go into all the different restaurants, the accommodations, everything about the ship. please go ahead and take a look at that. The ship has won many awards. The line, they're doing some really nice things. Do you want to talk a little bit about what they've included?
Yes. So what we love about Celebrity and these cruises is that, again, it feels very much, like an inclusive vacation, not shore excursions in this case, but what's nice about it is that you have the classic beverage package, and that beverage package includes your drinks, beer, wine, spirits, house brands, as well as Wi-Fi and your crew gratuities. So that is a very nice feature. So every category, every price will include those items, which a lot of people find, nice and convenient when you're cruising, not to have to think about those extras.
And because the drinks are included, people will drink different amounts.
Yes.
And so if you're only having a few, for the gratuity, they don't want to charge you, include a gratuity
Right.
above and beyond. So they charge the gratuity for what you're doing, and you do take care of that. So that would be not included in that.
Well, in this case, actually, in Celebrity, they include the gratuities on the beverage package.
So they've upgraded that as well.
They've upgraded that, so no extra. You're actually all set.
All
on
right.
that.
So
Nice.
go wild.
Yeah,
You
love
can. Your crew is taken care of. I will say, if a little extra
Yeah.
of them never hurts.
I always say the same thing.
So let's talk about some of these places. One of the things that I love on this ship is their martini bar. You can see their bartenders are actually mixologists. He is pouring about 22 martinis all at one time there. It is pretty fun to watch. People loved, even if you're not a martini drinker or anything like that, to watch them do this. They do it about 2 times a day, and it is a ton of fun. These are some of the pictures that when Donna was on that were taken, and some that are from the ship. Donna, do you want to talk about this particular
Sure.
one?
So I love the solarium. It's I always have a hard time saying it, a thalassotherapy pool. So it's very, very invigorating, and it's covered. So if you're in Canada and the weather's a little cooler at the beginning of September, you can be in this solarium. It's nice and warm, and you're swimming, and it's fabulous. So perfect ship to be cruising to Canada.
And of course, this time of year, it's going to be pretty warm, so you might need some ice cream. One of my favorites.
Right. Well, let's keep our fingers crossed for a nice warm September, right?
Is up. Well, so you're going to see, these are actually Donna's pictures.
Yes.
So I always like you to be able to see the real thing.
And some of these are like, again, the solarium, the gift shops. They have an awesome rooftop terrace, which I think, Brett, you like that spot too. They have movies up there. It's on the bottom left picture, and it is a place where you can watch movies, sporting events, and it's just couches and comfortable area to just be outside. And this was a picture I took in October, and it was a day of embarkation. So people were boarding, and these folks were already on board, and they were enjoying a movie at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. It was great. So
I've seen lots of sporting events on this ship. I was in South America on a ship like this, watching the Patriots play.
And what I love about this ship is on the theater as well. If you notice the picture on the far right, nice tables in the theater to put your drink down, very comfortable couches, and no obstructions to the stage. It's awesome for shows.
Do you want to talk about entertainment and a little bit about the shows?
Yeah, so they do a lot of different things. They have anything from Broadway style to Cirque du Soleil, which makes you like hold your breath half the time when they're up, 10 feet in the air and doing other things. I mean, they just do such a wide variety, from comedians to musicians, and they've really taken the entertainment to the next level, and their performers are just top notch.
So this particular trip, end of August, beginning of September, it's usually a lovely time to be up in Canada. I've had experiences in Montreal where it was well into the higher 80s. Yes. I've also had times, Donna and I were up a little bit later, beginning of October, and it was in the upper 40s and upper 50s. So the key on this is definitely having different layers, taking a look and seeing what the 12-day forecast looks like. This particular trip is going Boston to Boston. So you're going to depart. The motor coach will bring you right to the cruise terminals. You'll board the ship. Again, on this particular one, Bob Reed, who's one of our tour directors, some of you may know him. He's on the call today. He's going to be leading this group. He actually just recently was on a really nice cruise in Hawaii. So he gets these rough calls that we make him go on. So you're going to board. It departs at 6 p.m., but we will be on usually, Donna, what time do
Usually
we?
by 12 or 1 o'clock,
Exactly.
we're on board in time for lunch, which, we try to make that our priority. Boston is fabulous. There is not a better port to board a cruise ship at. Usually the boarding time is very quick and efficient. Our motor coach pulls up. The porters take the luggage right from the motor coach. You do not have to touch your luggage. The next time you see it, it's in your cabin a few hours later. And so easy. You're usually on board the ship within an hour and enjoying your, dropping your carry-ons in your cabin and enjoying lunch.
So then we're sailing about 6 o'clock. We are going through the night, early morning. We're at Rockland, Maine. Halifax, Nova Scotia is our next port. Sydney, Nova Scotia. Then we have a day at sea. What I like about this particular trip is you actually have 3 days of sea to enjoy all that's on this beautiful vessel. And you have great Maine, Canada, and back to Massachusetts. So let's go into some of the details on here. You'll see round trip out of Boston, 11 nights, 7 ports, 3 sea days, and probably the best thing on this trip is that the ship will overnight in Quebec. Quebec, will show you some of that in just a bit. It's one of my favorite cities, departing day 1 out of Boston. Rockland, Maine is going to be our first port of call. Again, there would be shore excursions that would not be included on this one. There's a big list of all different activities. Rockland is really known for its lobster. They call it the lobster capital of the world. There are certainly opportunities to do that. It also has some beautiful lighthouses. There are boat tours. So this gives you a great introduction, first port that we'll be heading off to. I know you're a big Maine person, Donna.
I am, and I haven't been to this port, so I mean, it's a tendered port, so this means you'll be boarding, the tenders to go into town. But that's awesome. That's like Bar Harbor too.
Yeah, so you're going to see on this trip what I like about this. Some of you have been with us where we motor coach up to Montreal and then come down the St. Lawrence River. Because you're on coming and going, what they've done is they've really done a nice job of going up, doing 2 stops basically Maine. So one on the way out and one on the way back. So first to Rockland, then from there, you're going to come around to Halifax, which we'll talk about in just a second. Then you're going to have your trip over to Sydney. Then you have a full day at sea and making your way to Quebec. Then you're in Quebec. You have the overnight. Then you sail. You have a day at sea, Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. Then making your way a day at sea, and you come into Bar Harbor before back to Boston. So that's what it looks like on a map. For those that haven't been to Halifax, Halifax is a very interesting city in that it has amazing history, and then it also has a modern flair to it. The Citadel is what's in the lower left-hand corner. In the upper right-hand corner is Peggy's Cove, maybe one of the most photographed lighthouses in the world. This is about a little right around an hour outside of Halifax. There are lots of things to do. So while you're in Halifax, you can go and visit the Botanic Garden. You can go to Louisburg, which is one of the historic forts. There is the Botanic Garden. There is the where the Titanic actually survivors were all buried in Halifax, and it sounds kind of morbid, but it's actually an amazing visit. The design of that memorial is actually exactly in the same orientation as the Titanic when it was found, totally by coincidence, but it's really, really neat. The stories are amazing. I know Titanic, the movie, just celebrated 25 years. All those people like Jack Dawson are real people, and you learn all about that. The food scene in Nova Scotia, in Halifax, is phenomenal. So if you want to just walk off the ship, go into the city, you can. If you love history, you go up the hill to the Citadel, go see the wonderful towers. You can go out to Louisburg, the fort. Lots and lots of history here. I know Bob is going to enjoy this quite a bit. These are some of his favorite spots that he gets to go to. And usually he's doing Quebec in the winter carnival. So this will be a nice treat for him. The next spot is going to be Sydney, Nova Scotia. And if you look in this picture, you literally can walk off your ship. This is the giant cruise center, which is filled with all local crafts. Sydney has a Scottish, Irish kind of a feel to it. So when you come off, there'll be fiddle players and all kinds of things. And when you depart, they actually have a cannon every time the ships leave. And you literally could walk right into the town. Very nice area. It also is the gateway to the Cabot Trail. It also has Alexander Graham Bell and Cape Breton. So those are some of the different areas there. You're then going to have your day at sea, and there are lots of activities from literally the casino to entertainment, music. Up on top, they do have a putting green. They have this great outdoor area with different lawn games that you can play. This is a picture of the spa and of the indoor pool. Then you come to Quebec. Quebec, if you can't go to Europe, this is by far and away the next best thing. Many movies that you've seen, X-Men, the last time I was in Quebec, they were actually filming the last X-Men movie. They took all the English and everything off the windows, all the French, and it looks like a traditional walled city. If you are looking from where we are, we're actually up at the top where the fort is, looking past the Hotel Frontenac down to the lower part of Quebec, and the ship down there, that's actually where the ships dock. And you literally could either walk up the breakneck stairs, or you could go up the funicular, whichever way you like to go, into this beautiful area. Now, in addition to being able to be right in Quebec, there are shore excursions. So it's an UNESCO historic city, World Heritage Site. Quebec countryside, the Plains of Abraham. Those of you that are history buffs, I know it's getting close to 6, so I don't want to go into too much, but Ben Franklin, when we were fighting the British, tried to come up to Quebec and see if he could convince them to join our side. The British were really smart. They said to the people of Quebec, you can have your religion, we'll let you do whatever you like. You are French, no problem. Just don't go with the Americans. And so in this waterway out there, there's a little fort just in case somebody got the wrong idea, they were there. But all that great history going back past the French and Indian War, it's one of the oldest cities in North America, Quebec, and you will actually be able to learn all about this area. Mount Morenci Falls, and of course, some beautiful areas. So this is a view from the other side. The last one was taken from up here at the fort looking down. This is looking from the water kind of going up. In the background, on the other side of the wall, you'll see a modern city. Then, of course, you've got the wonderful church, St. Anne de Pré. You also have the Mount Morenci Falls. I know Bob could tell you hours about each of these different areas. We're happy to help you pick your shore excursions. There's everything from biking. You can actually bike out to those falls, very active, to simple bus tours where they would be less active. So lots of opportunity. Then you have a day at sea, and this is where the entertainment comes in. Do you want to talk a little bit about this, Donna?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, I love him pouring the martini on his forehead. That's one I haven't seen before. That's pretty funny. Silent disco. Oh my gosh, I think Heidi is, that's our favorite thing to do when we go on a cruise.
That's
you get
these guys up here.
Yeah, you get the guys on the left side. You see they're wearing headphones, and it's called silent disco. And based when you put the headphones on, whatever color ring is on the outside of the headphone is this. You're listening to the same song. People matching same color, same song. So everybody's dancing. Right, different channels, and then you can switch it, but it's hilarious to almost just be a people watcher for this, because you just see people dancing, but you can't hear the music. It's really fun. But again, you can see the music, like a lot of Cirque du Soleil type things, and they've, like I said before, they've really stepped up their entertainment. And Bob, who's on the call, who will be the tour director, will have a hospitality desk. And he will be available during times when the ship is not in port. At the hospitality desk, we'll give you, what's nice is that he'll be available basically all the time by leaving a message in his cabin, but at the hospitality desk quite often during the cruise, so that you can ask questions, go say hi. He will host a nice party during the cruise. that will get everybody together. And then he will also host a disembarkation meeting so that everybody can get together to know how to get off the ship the last day. So we put it all together for you. And Bob will be there also to assist with anything that you might need, that, you know, if you have anything for dining that you're looking to get accomplished and you need some help, you know, that's what he's there for. So,
And there are some great specialty restaurants. Their
yes,
cafe upstairs is amazing. It's one of the nicest choices of all different types of food. Their sushi restaurant is one of the top ranked restaurants. They've got a Tuscany.
yes, Tuscan Grill. That's
yeah.
that's one of my favorites. It's
And
a
then
really good
the other
Italian
specialty one that I really like is Cuisine, which is
Le Petit Chef.
yes, which is
Yes,
like no other meal you'll ever see. So those
it
are some
is
of
so
the
much fun.
the things that you can experience on that day. Then you're into Prince Edward Island. Prince Edward Island is just beautiful. They dock right at the center of town. You can walk right off into some of the greatest pubs anywhere. Again, definitely has that European feel, almost like you're in Ireland or somewhere like that. And wonderful food, seafood. So these are some of the things. Of course, everyone knows Anne of Green Gables. There are tons of lighthouses on Prince Edward Island, all kinds of natural activities, golf, so lots of things. This is a picture of the main dining room. We talked a little bit about some of these dining options, but you can see those all. We can let you take a more look. Then your last port is Bar Harbor, Maine. This is the beginning and end to ports have what they call are tenders, meaning the ship, the harbors are too shallow for the ships to go and be right in town. So they do have special boats that will bring you back and forth, and they have times and everything. This is, I know, one of your favorite places in the world. Do you want to talk a little bit about Bar Harbor?
My husband and I actually have a cottage outside of Bar Harbor, about 35 minutes, and we spend a lot of time in Bar Harbor. It's probably one of my favorite places, and because of Acadia National Park. So you can, if you have never been to Acadia, it's a must see. It's the most beautiful national park. I guess it was the first national park in the country, right? And so you can, if you're more active, you can I could absolutely recommend a couple of mild hikes. And if not, you can do a driving tour up and through there, and it's really fun. Just the downtown area alone is lots of shops, restaurants, all along the waterfront, a nice grassy area just to sit and enjoy the waterfront. It's so picturesque. I can't tell you, it is just so beautiful. So ask me anything and I'll be glad to help you find something to do.
So lots of great opportunities in Arcadia, be it going and seeing the Blowhole or Cadillac Mountain, or just simply going and enjoying this wonderful town that's there. So all of those are definitely opportunities. Then we sail and we go through the double harbor of Boston and into the terminal where we disembark, and the motor coaches then bring us home. So that is a quick kind of view around. If you were to look at the back of the flyer, which I'll show you in a second, you would see the different staterooms that are available. This ship was completely redone, so you can see the flat screen TVs. The systems on here are pretty amazing. I've actually been able to stream things directly from my phone up to those TVs. Pretty unreal. But Donna, do you want to talk a little bit about the different options here?
Yeah, definitely. So as of right now, we still have interior, ocean view, and veranda staterooms available. The ship is quite sold out at this point, so we're holding on to contracted space with the cruise line, and so cabins may be assigned at a later date, but you're guaranteed the type of stateroom that you purchase, or better. So it's kind of fun, you get your cabin down the road. But I have to say that we may not have the space for very much longer. I know a lot of people are waiting longer and longer to make their reservations these days, but I would recommend, if you want to do this tour, that you don't wait too much longer to book it, because once the cruise line releases our space, we're out of luck.
Right.
And we do have about, I would say about 10 or 12 more spaces on our motor coach. So if you'd like to do it, we'd love to have you. And these are great pictures. That's an ocean view room. So nice big window to see out of. And you just, yeah, you can't beat that. And then interior, I love the colors. When they redid the staterooms, they put them into nice, I feel like when you get on the ship, it's very zen-like, very calm, very soothing colors. It's really pretty.
And again, they've done this great job with the showers and how they've laid things out, really
Yes.
giving lots of space, and it's the same. It doesn't matter which of these rooms you're in, you're still getting treated the same way. So
Absolutely.
really, really neat experience. This is what the flyers look like for you. Do you want to talk about anything on the back of this?
No,
for
I
times
think
full?
one last thing. Some people are curious, and I get the same get this question. And COVID restrictions have been lifted on all cruises, including the American Queen voyages, Celebrity cruises. So no testing, no vaccinations required. Masking is optional. If things change, we would let you know. But it's nice kind of to get things a little bit back to normal now. And yeah, there it is. There's our phone number. Call me. And I generally work 8:30 to 4:30 Monday through Friday. So feel free to call and make a reservation or ask questions or shoot me an email. There's my email. All of our emails are very simple. Donna@friendshiptours.net. Ask a question and I'm very responsive. I'll get back to you right away.
Excellent. Well, we really appreciate everybody joining us today. We're going to go ahead and exit out of here, and we will open up for any questions that anybody might have.
Oh, questions. You did a great job. I learned a couple new things, Brett, today. Thank you. I didn't know all of those things about Iowa and I was there. That was pretty awesome.
The river cruising is really a unique experience. There are places that many of us know the names of, but have never maybe taken the time to go through, and doing it on the waterways. That is like the super highway. The history up and down the Mississippi is just spectacular. One of the interesting things there is one stop where you'll actually be very close to Galena, Illinois, which is where Grant, his home, was from, and you could visit his home if you wanted to. So if you love Civil War history, you've got it there.
Yeah.
Manufacturing, agriculture, these small towns, the people just line up to meet you when you come off. It is truly one of the neatest experiences and best ways that you can travel. So
yes, if anybody has a question, you can unmute and feel free to. And if Bob, you want to say hi, I think Bob's on. Yeah, Bob's there.
I'm here.
Hey, there's Bob. Yes, we can hear you.
Should I say?
We can hear your dog too.
Yeah, she's very vocal. But looking forward to doing the cruise. I've been to all of the places that are going to be our stops, but we've done it by motor coach. So this will be
this is a treat. Yeah.
Version, but looking forward. Hope to get many people to join us.
Absolutely. Well, you've already got a nice sized group going, so we're excited for that. Yes.
Yeah, so won't have to learn French either.
Yeah, exactly right.
Well, again, thanks for all joining us today. We are going to have this up on our website as a recording, and you'll get a copy of it. And those that maybe were signed up and didn't make it today, they'll get one as well. Again, there are only limited spots for both of these trips, which is why we wanted to do this call, to make sure that if you haven't gotten on, I know lots of you already are on these, and hopefully this helps you get a little bit more information on where you're going. They say, a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So I hope we helped you a little bit with that. Thanks again for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you on our next program. And in fact, I think the next one we're doing is a little bit different. We're going to do 2 of our national parks trips. So our wonderful tour that we're doing out to Arizona. So that would be, of course, the Grand Canyon, the Petrified Forest, Sedona. You're going to actually be at the Grand Canyon on 3 different parts of the rim. It's a really interesting trip. I actually took a group to Yellowstone last year. We had an amazing time. A lot of people asked us if we had done Arizona. So we'll be flying into Vegas and out of Vegas. So not only do you get wonderful Arizona, but you'll actually get a small part of New Mexico, and you'll even get a little bit of Route 66 and heading on over back to Vegas. So right past the Hoover Dam. Then we also have the Mighty 5. So that would be all the national parks that are in Utah. So I know, Bob, you've done some of those trips.
Yes, I have. I've been to Bryce, Zion.
Yeah.
you go to Bryce, just picture yourself watching the Roadrunner cartoon. That's-
Absolutely. Arches is one of my favorite, the Redstones. That one only has very few spots left. And then, of course, Arizona. So that'll be coming up. Look for a wonderful
Early
email.
April. Yeah, I
Yep.
think April 3rd or somewhere in there.
And then I know lots of you are already on the road, like Bob. He was just away this weekend and we'll be doing lots of great trips. So thanks again for your time today. We look forward to seeing everybody on another one of our programs shortly. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.